From shadowy figures to eerie whispers, the UK's cemeteries are filled with haunting tales. These 15 burial grounds are said to be haunted by restless spirits, forever tied to the past. 1. The Tower Hamlets Cemetery, London. One of the oldest cemeteries in East London, Tower Hamlets is shrouded in mystery. Thousands of souls are buried here, and many visitors report seeing shadowy figures moving between the overgrown tombstones. A popular ghost story involves a woman in a tattered Victorian dress who roams the cemetery in search of her lost children. People claim to hear soft crying or see a ghostly figure drifting through the mist, only to disappear when approached. A particularly chilling story revolves around a man who felt a cold hand touch his shoulder while walking through the cemetery's oldest section. When he turned around, no one was there, but the faint smell of roses lingered in the air. 2. Kensal Green Cemetery, London. Kensal Green is famous for its grand architecture and illustrious residents, but it also has a dark reputation for hauntings. Visitors often report seeing a tall, shadowy figure lurking near the gravestones. This apparition is believed to be the ghost of a widow who tragically lost her husband and is often seen pacing in sorrow. Some people have described feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness when passing near her grave. Others have reported hearing footsteps following them as they walk along the paths, only to turn around and find the cemetery eerily silent. In some cases, visitors have even felt a hand on their shoulder, only to find no one there. 3. West Norwood Cemetery, London. West Norwood Cemetery, opened in 1837, has a rich history and is known for its paranormal activity. The cemetery is home to the graves of famous Victorians, but it's the restless spirits of the lesser-known individuals who are said to haunt this place. Witnesses have reported seeing ghostly figures wandering among the tombstones, and some have heard eerie voices whispering in the wind. One particular ghost story is that of a man in a long coat who is seen walking among the graves late at night. When approached, he disappears into the shadows, leaving behind a sense of dread in the air. People also claim to feel a cold breeze sweeping through the cemetery, as if the spirits themselves are watching. 4. Woolwich New Cemetery, enthusiastic gardener. Woolwich New Cemetery is famous for a strange and somewhat peculiar haunting, the ghost of a gardener. The legend says that an elderly caretaker who worked the grounds for decades passed away but continues to tend the graves in the afterlife. Visitors often see the figure of an old man bending over a tombstone as if he's planting flowers or trimming the bushes. When they approach, however, he vanishes into thin air. Some have even claimed to hear the sounds of a shovel scraping the earth, only to find nothing when they look around. Despite the eerie atmosphere, there is something oddly comforting about the gardener's presence, as if he is simply continuing his work beyond the grave. 5. Brompton Cemetery, London. Brompton Cemetery is one of London's most impressive cemeteries, with grand mausoleums and historic monuments. However, it is also known for its ghostly inhabitants. Visitors have often reported seeing a woman in black standing beside a particular tomb, her face obscured by a veil. Legend has it that she is a widow, mourning the loss of her husband, and her ghost is said to walk the grounds at night. People have described feeling an eerie chill near her grave and hearing soft, muffled cries in the distance. One visitor claimed to have seen her vanish into the fog as he approached, her figure fading into the night as though she were never really there. 6. The Old Jewish Cemetery, London. The Old Jewish Cemetery in London is a serene yet eerie place, filled with ancient gravestones. Visitors have reported seeing shadowy figures moving between the graves, as if the spirits are still walking the grounds. Some have heard faint whispers in Yiddish or Hebrew, though no one is seen speaking. One particularly unsettling encounter involves the ghost of an elderly man carrying a lantern, seen wandering the cemetery late at night. Witnesses say he vanishes when they approach, leaving behind a heavy silence and an eerie feeling that the past is never truly gone. 7. Nunhead Cemetery, London. Nunhead Cemetery, part of London's Magnificent Seven, is filled with stories of restless spirits. A common tale is of a young girl in a veil, often seen standing by a specific grave. It's believed she is searching for a lost child or lover, and her spirit has never found peace. Others describe feeling a sudden sadness or hearing footsteps following them as they walk along the cemetery's winding paths, only to turn around and find no one there. The atmosphere is thick with history, and visitors often feel as if the spirits here are quietly watching. 8. Hamstead Cemetery, London. Hamstead Cemetery has its own eerie charm, with overgrown paths and crumbling gravestones that give it a haunted appearance. It is home to the ghost of a man who was reportedly buried alive, and many visitors have claimed to hear strange scraping noises coming from the ground, as though someone is trying to escape from a grave. One visitor described seeing a figure in old-fashioned clothing walking near the cemetery's entrance. When he tried to approach, the figure disappeared into the mist, leaving behind only the faint smell of decay. 9. Bford Cemetery, Devon. In Devon, Bford Cemetery is known for its connection to the sea. Sailors and seafarers have been buried here for centuries, and many believe their spirits still linger. Visitors have reported seeing a ghostly sailor walking among the graves with a lantern in hand, as if searching for his ship. Others have heard the sounds of waves crashing, despite being miles from the coast. The most unsettling part of the story is that the sailor's ghost is often seen looking out towards the horizon, as though he is waiting for something, or someone, to return. 10. Southend Cemetery, Essex. Southend Cemetery, located in Essex, is another site with a long history of ghost sightings. One of the most disturbing tales involves a shadowy figure that is seen walking among the gravestones at night. When approached, the figure disappears into the darkness, leaving behind a lingering sense of unease. Many visitors report hearing whispers or footsteps following them as they walk along the cemetery's quiet paths. Some have even felt an icy hand on their shoulder, only to turn around and find no one there. 11. St. Bartholomew's Cemetery. St. Bartholomew's Cemetery is linked to a ghost story involving a monk who was allegedly murdered by his fellow monks. His spirit is said to haunt the cemetery, particularly near the entrance. Visitors often report seeing a figure in brown robes walking the grounds, his face obscured by a hood. Some people have described feeling an overwhelming sense of dread near the monk's grave, as though something dark and foreboding is watching them. Others report hearing faint chanting in the distance, but when they search the cemetery, no one is there. 12. East Finchley Cemetery. London East Finchley Cemetery, with its well-maintained paths and peaceful atmosphere, is also a site of paranormal activity. One of the most chilling stories involves a ghostly figure seen walking in circles around a particular grave. Witnesses say that the figure appears to be searching for something, only to vanish into thin air when approached. Some visitors report hearing disembodied voices or footsteps following them as they walk along the cemetery's winding paths. Others describe feeling an overwhelming sense of loneliness, as though the spirits of the dead are still lingering. 13. Hither Green Cemetery, London. Hither Green Cemetery has its own share of ghostly legends. The most well-known is the apparition of a young woman in a white dress. often seen walking among the graves, carrying a bouquet of flowers. Some say she is searching for a lost lover who died young, and her spirit can never find peace. Others have reported hearing the sound of soft crying, though no one is ever seen. The atmosphere in the cemetery is heavy, and many who visit at night claim to feel a sense of deep sadness, as if the ghosts of the past are reaching out. 14. Burrow Cemetery, South London. Burrow Cemetery is known for its strange phenomena, with many visitors reporting sightings of shadowy figures standing between the graves. Some describe feeling as though they are being followed, while others have heard strange noises like the dragging of chains coming from the depths of the cemetery. One of the most unsettling stories comes from a visitor who saw a figure walking toward him, only for it to suddenly vanish when they tried to speak. 15. Chiswell Old Cemetery, London. Chiswell Old Cemetery is known for its haunting presence, with numerous ghost stories surrounding it. The most famous is that of a figure seen standing near a particular grave, staring at visitors with hollow eyes. Some say the figure is that of a woman who died tragically young and now wanders the cemetery, forever seeking peace. Others claim to hear faint footsteps or whispers when they visit, but when they turn around, no one is there. The cemetery feels heavy, as if the spirits within are waiting for something. These 15 haunted cemeteries are filled with restless spirits. Have you experienced anything eerie? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more spooky stories on creepy experiences.